We're going to go on to episode 2. What do you remember off the back of your head, top of your mind from episode 2 that you liked? What do you remember?
I really like C3PO. He was a funny jokester.
Yeah, very funny guy, prankster, if you will. Not really, but funny guy, prankster, if you not really. Just
not a prankster. No, he's
there.
The one who gets pranked.
Yeah, poor guy.
Suffers the consequences. Yeah. I love the droids. Roger. Yeah. Am I right, guys?
Yep. So good. Especially when we talk about season 1 of the Clone Wars. Oh man. Yeah. So good. But all right. Anything else?
We got to see more Jar Jar. Am I right, guys?
We will talk about that in a bit. But oh my god.
Oh my god, the memories are flooding back. I remember so much. Obi-Wan and Anakin, I like their back and forth banter that they do.
There's so much fun.
Obi-Wan is insane for jumping out of that window.
That's so good. I remember
out of that window.
Seeing that scene
that was amazing.
Oh, it's so fantastic. God.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I guess let's go through. You can go through the scenes of the movie, and then I can just comment on them because there's a lot of this movie. I remember a lot more of this movie than I do the first one.
That's fair. All right. So Obi-Wan jumping off. They're chasing after the bounty hunter. Oh yes, the bounty hunter. So.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So let me explain. Let me get real nice and cozy. Okay, so I've consumed a bit of Star Wars media. You know, I watched The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett.
Yes, sir.
And listen, I'll be honest, I'm a Fennec Shand enjoyer, okay? Mm-hmm. I like Fennec Shand, okay? She's cool. Now, we're watching episode 2. And we see this bounty hunter who, to me at least, it looked like they were wearing some kind of head gear that looked similar to Fennec Shand's. And I asked, is that Fennec Shand? Because I genuinely didn't know.
Yep.
And I don't know Star Wars timeline enough to know if it was or if it wasn't. Spoiler alert, it was not. So I asked this, and dbzmando says, yes, it is. And I'm just like, well, no way. And then there's a scene where she's driving away in this car, and I just see her turn into the swamp monster.
Shot.
Oh, wait a minute. Fennec Shand doesn't do that.
So Zam Wessel is her name, and yeah, when she shows up, he's like, "Is that Fennec?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, it is." And so we're watching the whole chase, and he's excited, and then it zooms in, and she looks up, turns into the fucking changeling, and he's like, "Wait a second!" And I just started dying of laughter. Oh my god.
It was not Fennec Shand, guys.
It was amazing.
Do not get tricked like me.
Oh my god. It was so good that he thought it was her. And I was like, no, listen, it will be. And then obviously she gets her arm cut off and dies. So obviously it wasn't her. But that was so good. I had fun with that one. That was amazing. Woo! And then
dbzmando, the new Star Wars fan.
Oh, the bullying. It's so good. No, for context, Fennec Shand, where she shows, there is a maybe 25 to 30 year time jump, maybe even more, when we first see her from this movie. She is probably a teenager. So yeah, for that context, if you're ever looking for Fennec, she's not that old. She's not that old around here, I don't think.
All right. For future reference.
Now we go into the, I guess, back and forth now between the Obi-Wan stuff and the Anakin stuff. So after they figure out, it was a bounty hunter sent to kill Padme. So when they were doing that, we end up going back and forth between Kamino and then Anakin and Padme. love, I guess is that what you can call it. And we'll get into the Anakin and Padme stuff in the dislike section, because I know that man's don't like that. I don't even like that. A lot of us don't like that. So as we're going with Obi-Wan, we then see, we go to Kamino and find out that there was a clone army that was being made without the Jedi knowing. No one knew. Hang
on. I'm gonna stop you for a second. Coruscant.
Oh, right, Coruscant, the underground of Coruscant. That reminds me. Yes,
it's so cool. I like Coruscant.
Yeah, no, Coruscant, and we talked about this as well a little bit. Like, Coruscant is basically it's a whole industrial city. Like, that planet is like 100% city. There's barely anything that's of the natural environment from there. Like in Mando season 3, I'm gonna give a little bit. We see we're on Coruscant. We see a little bit of what the Earth was, and it's the tip of a mountain. Like that's all that remains is just the tip of a mountain. And that just also lets you know how high they are in with these building constructions. If they're at the tip of a freaking mountain as a tourist attraction. So yeah, there's only there's that, and then there's a tree the Jedi Temple has. But those are the only two nature things you ever see on the planet. But yeah, with Coruscant, yeah, it's a bit of an industrial it's a city, and it's very cool. I feel just because it's the underground, and we get a little bit more into it in Clone Wars, and I think you'll really enjoy that. He also, if y'all don't know, he really enjoys cyberpunk, and I never really thought about this in this way. I didn't learn about this until when I watched Book of Boba, when people are augmenting themselves. But Coruscant is technically reminiscent of cyberpunk, as you can do that stuff like augmenting yourself and all that. I don't know, it's Star Wars, and I never really thought of it like that until they actually did it, and I was like, huh, you can do that. And I forget.
Coruscant is just Night City, the planet.
Pretty much. That's basically what it feels like, or what it is, especially in the underground. Oh man, you've only ever seen the top. Just wait till we get into the lower depths. Oh boy. And I'm hoping maybe we'll get a Star Wars game. Maybe this new one that's coming out will delve more into the underground of Coruscant.
It did kind of look like they were on Coruscant.
In the thing, yeah. Hopefully they do show it off a little bit more. I know in Survivor we see a little bit of it, but not enough. I think we need a better exploration of Coruscant. The only much of Coruscant we get to explore is freaking in Lego Star Wars, the new one. Which, I mean, I kind of does it, but everything's in Legos. You kind of would want to see it in live action realism. Yeah, no, Coruscant's pretty cool, and who knows, maybe we'll get something that can explore a little more, because I feel like we explore a lot of the top of Coruscant. I kind of want to go down to the underground of Coruscant, because I really like the underworld of Star Wars. It's very interesting. It's very intriguing when we meet a bunch of people from there and just explore it. It's really cool. Anyway, so we do go to Kamino with Obi-Wan, finding out about the clone army being made without their back. So what are your thoughts when we go on to Kamino? What are your thoughts on Kamino? What are your thoughts on that raining planet?
Water, rain. I like the rain. I really like the rain. We get to see, obviously, the clone army, how many there are, and then we get to see the. I'm trying to think of the word. Is there a word for the original person that is being cloned?
The clone template.
The clone template. We get to see the clone template of A1 Jango Fett. Who, he's pretty cool. I personally think Jango Fett's pretty cool. Too bad he died.
I was waiting. Too bad he dies.
Too bad he dies.
Oh my god, Jango.
I was kind of disappointed seeing that he was introduced and then immediately died. Not immediately, but he died in the same movie that he was introduced in. Because I've heard you and our good buddy Editor Joe talking about Jango Fett a few times, and I thought that he was gonna play bigger role, I guess. Listen, being a template to create a clone army it's a pretty big role, but it could have been filled by anyone.
But I mean, they picked the best bounty hunter at that time in the galaxy, and that was him at that time. So and we fortunately for Joe and myself, we did delve. So we're not just at the base. I read the comics, and Joe's played the game, because there's a Jango Fett game that goes more into depth than.
I
think it's called something Bounty Hunter or something. But yeah, no, it's a game that goes into Jango, and you learn more about him. And then there's comics that go into him and all of his origin, and that's what makes him even more cooler. and it explains why he was chosen as a clone template for a bunch of other things, which I won't get into because it is a whole lot of spoilers that you'll learn about in actually like the Clone Wars in episode 3. Like they'll talk about it, so I can't go into it a bit much because they actually talk about it in the Clone Wars. He is chosen because he's the best of the best. He's the #1 bounty hunter at that time, and yeah, the movie kind of just does him a little bit, not too much of a disservice. He does get some stuff done, like with the whole Obi-Wan shaking him off and killing that one Jedi that tried to like fight him, and they got fucking eviscerated. And plus, obviously, the fight with Obi-Wan, I thought that was pretty cool. What were your thoughts on that battle with Obi-Wan?
That was really cool. I remember you doing a did you know?
Did you know?
Did you know kind of thing, where you said that it was like really. I forget what it is that you said, but they like
it was in blue screen, but like the whole thing was just water. There was rain on the set, and they had to redo it a couple of times because the actor could like barely see anything because the visor kept fogging
out of the helmet.
up.
Yeah. And I was like, that's kind of cool. It gives more, I guess, value to the scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I know interviews are like, man, I was trying so hard, like so freaking foggy, just trying to see.
It was a really cool fight because it was in the rain.
Yeah, in the rain. Yeah, just watching like brawling. Like obviously it was weapons at first until Jango lost his jetpack and blasters and Obi-Wan lost his lightsaber. Then they were just like fisticuffs, which was that was pretty cool. And I also let you know, like, I feel like a lot of people don't understand, like, Obi-Wan's a Jedi and Jango's just your normal person, if that makes sense. And he was holding his own, like, against that. Like he was holding his own against a Jedi, which I mean that should show a little bit why he was chosen. Like, you're fighting a Jedi and he's not immediately dead. I mean, sure, Jango's got gadgets, but even then, when they're taken from him, he's doing pretty all right. Like I said, they start brawling with their bare hands, so it's pretty good. And then obviously, like Jango finally gets him off by the two getting thrown off the freaking building. And then we go into the chase sequence.
Oh yeah, we also get to see a young Boba Fett.
Yes. What are your thoughts? So before did you know Boba Fett's origins before learning about it?
I knew that he was the son of Jango Fett, and that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, no, you now learn that he is actually a clone of Jango, a clone that he regards as a son anyway, because Jango ain't got time. He's a pro bounty hunter, ain't got time for a family. So he was like, I want a clone. I'm gonna raise it as my son. That's what he did. So I don't know. Is there any like particular thoughts you have on Boba being a clone?
I think it's cool. It shows that, again, you just said, it shows that he's kind of on the run and he doesn't have time to like get settled down. But after learning that, it's pretty cool. Now knowing that Boba Fett is a clone of his
father,
his papa.
Yep, his papa. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. And then we get into the the chase sequence. What did you think of the whole ship chase sequence?
It was really, really fun. What were they called? Those mines that he had?
Oh, the seismic charges?
The seismic charges, they were, listen, okay, when we were watching,
oh no, I thought they would forget.
And the seismic charges went off. This man, Mr. dbzmando.
No, I thought he would forget.
He was like nutting everywhere. This man was like,
listen,
like audibly moaning whenever the seismic charges went off.
Bro, I love the seismic charge.
And listen, I get it. It was cool.
Like, it doesn't even make a sound when it blows up until the wave's already there. Like, you just hear it goes off and just like everything goes quiet, and then the boom, and I'm like, oh my god, it's enough to. It's so cool. I love using that.
It's so cool.
And I think I remember I showed it. If you go in the Battlefront video, I got a kill with that thing. It's so satisfying. Like, that thing's a freaking, like, it's amazing. It's awesome. I love seeing the seismic charge. It's so awesome. It's such a neat weapon. But yeah, then obviously get to the bottom, they escape, and Obi-Wan says, "Hey, I found him on Geonosis," and then they get bodied. And then we get to the whole Geonosian battle after that. Or, well, an interrogation scene. But before we get into the interrogation scene, is there anything you liked from the Anakin and Padme stuff before we...
Anything that I liked?
Yeah.
Are you insane?
Yeah. Yep, that's about right. Okay, so then I guess with that out of the way, we'll get into that section later. We'll go ahead and get to the Geonosian thing. Christopher Lee as Count. Oh, what's up?
I liked Obi-Wan when he was like hiding on that I guess asteroid or meteor,
Oh, yeah?
whatever it is. I don't know the difference. But he was hiding on it, and he's just like casually he checks his watch, and he's like, oh, that should be enough time, and then he like immediately follows him.
Yeah. Obi-Wan is such a charismatic character. I just love that guy, and I think you'll grow to love him even more in Clone Wars. There's so much in Clone Wars. Yeah, we have to pick that up later, but it's so good. Okay, so now back to I guess what I was saying earlier. What are your thoughts on Count Dooku when we meet that guy?
Have you ever killed the man, Joe?
Have you ever
killed the man, Joe? After seeing that meme, he's kind of funny.
Christopher Lee is such a great guy.
He was really cool. He was intimidating as a villain.
Mm-hmm.
I guess skipping ahead a little bit, his like lightning powers are really cool. It was Anakin. Oh yeah. Whenever Anakin's like arm gets cut off, I like foreshadowed it.
No, yeah. Oh my, I can't remember. Oh yeah. They were in the
like the
droid. They were in the droid facility, the factory, the droid factory.
Droid factory, and there's a scene where Anakin gets his like arm trapped underneath like a sheet of metal, and I jokingly say, "Oh, looks like we gotta cut it all off."
Yeah. and he said that in my mind. I'm like, oh,
completely unaware of what was to come. Like not 30 minutes later, and this man gets his arm cut off.
There you go. Amazing. Oh, and then what were your thoughts when you found out Count Dooku was Qui-Gon's master?
That was cool. I wanted to know more. I want to know more.
Well, don't. I got something for you, and we'll probably watch it sometime down the line. It's a thing called Star Wars Tales of the Jedi. I think it's pretty interesting. I think you'll enjoy it. It'll give you a little more, but we'll have to watch it on a separate time. But yeah, so Count Dooku talking about that, them having a little conversation. He basically, what were your thoughts on Count Dooku basically revealing everything to Obi-Wan? Obi-Wan just not agreeing. Like was saying, what if I told you the council was being, or the Senate was being ruled by a Sith known as Lord Sidious. Darth Sidious.
I mean, listen, Obi-Wan, he should have listened. He should have took him at face value.
Yeah. Oh man, he listened, but that's just such a big, I guess, and that's just like an example of the Jedi. They're so, I want to say full of themselves, but just very confident that this could never happen, that they would know.
Yeah, I'm like, they're very confident.
Like, they're just like, nah, there's no way we would know. It's so frustrating. So we get to the end, now we're back into like, I guess the whole arena thing. Thoughts on the creatures that were trying to take them out?
They were funny little guys. What were they? They were.
You had a rhino, some weird mantis bird thing, and then some cat with 8 eyes.
I remember I just called them dog, cat, and fox. I don't remember which ones are which, but they were there. I'm pretty sure it was Padme that was like kicked one of them off. I thought that was funny.
Oh yeah, the cat. I forget the name of the species. They all have all species names. I can't remember. I keep wanting to call the rhino a mughorn, but I think that's wrong, and I won't do that. I'll probably have the name somewhere up on the videos. So with that,
look, there they are.
Oh look, wow. So that arena thing, and then the whole Mace Windu the Jedi. What do you think when all the Jedi showed up?
That was cool. It was cool seeing them like in the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Like them just like revealing themselves from inside the crowd. That was really cool. And then seeing the entire like dropship come in.
Oh yeah, to save them after all the Jedi that just like, came in, were fighting all those battle droids. There were a lot of Jedi, and when that battle ended, there were so little.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, so many Jedi just died. I was like, oh my Lord. And I guess before we get into like the clones showing up, what were your thoughts when Jango died? Because I remember when you watched it and Jango was fighting Mace and then he died. I remember you going, oh, because, Ban got decapitated.
I didn't think he was going to get decapitated.
See his like helmet, and if you like, it's like I guess did you know? Not too much, but like when you see his helmet flying off, you can see the shadow of his head, like that fell out of the helmet.
Yeah, I did not expect that. And now after you telling me a few things, I guess it makes a lot more sense why he died there.
Yeah.
That his jetpack failed.
Yeah, because the rhino he killed with one shot, by the way, it was pretty good. Destroyed his jetpack. Because Dylan Weir was like confused because he was like, how? Why didn't you just fly away? Well, I was like, well, if you saw the rhino hit his jetpack and he tried to fly away, the jetpack sparked, but it didn't work. And that's what got him killed.
Yeah, I didn't notice that the first. Are watching
it's like little, I guess, minute details. The jetpack sparked and it didn't work, and that's when he died. That's when it was over.
Which I mean, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, having just like a small detail be like the downfall of a character.
Yeah, he tried and it didn't work. So yeah, and then he died, and that was tough. I was like, oh my god. All right, well there goes Django. The man was cool, and now he's dead. I remember being younger, like, why didn't he just fly away? I was like, the rhino destroyed his jetpack, and sure. But then as I rewatched it, I'm like, oh, there was even a spark. They even showed he tried to activate it. Oh my god, he's dead. And then obviously there's a deleted brutal scene where he gets his blaster sliced, he gets stabbed and then slashed, and then his head cut off. And I was like, all right, I kind of wish they kept that in, but geez. That was more of a brutal death for the guy. I'm glad Mace was like, no, I'll just make it quick and easy.
Oh yeah, also I like his purple lightsaber.
Oh yeah, Mace Windu having his own purple lightsaber, which did you know happened just because the actor just asked. It was very simple. Yeah, he just said, "Can I have a purple one?" I can't remember if he said, "Can I have a purple one?" or "Can I just have a different looking one?" And then that's how the purple one came to be. That's all how that happened. That's how that happened. Which I thought was pretty cool. George was like, yeah, sure. George was pretty like, I don't want to say lenient, but like was like pretty like down with it. If the actors like had requests or anything, that was
flexible.
Cool.
He was flexible.
Yeah, there you go, flexible. So I thought that was pretty cool. You ever killed the man, George?
Killed the man, George.
It's so good. But yeah, and then everybody gets saved. Woohoo! Clones show up, and here's a little fun fact: all the clones you see. What are you thinking of the clones you see? You think they're real and then all CGI'd?
I don't know. It looked like they were all, like, okay, at the end, like where they're showing the big like fights between the clones and the droids.
Mm-hmm.
And like you see like Yoda there too, like a little bit.
Yeah.
Honestly, I completely forgot that it was like a live action movie. For a second, I was like, this looks all like CGI.
Yeah, it's just well, I mean that's time for you, right? These movies came back in like the early 2000s. Like I think Episode 1 came out in 2001, maybe 1999. I honestly I can't remember. I'll have the dates up. They're like early 2000s when these movies came out. Yeah, everything like you can tell a lot of it is CGI because I think George was like, technology. Use it, all of it. And I'm like, okay, I don't think we need to, because all the clones throughout the entirety of the trilogy are just pure CGI. Like all of them are CGI. Like they're so CGI to the fact that when people try to cosplay clones, the armor they're wearing is impossible to wear. Nobody has that figure.
Wow.
So yeah, it wasn't until like the later on things where we got actors playing clones, that it made it easier for people to cosplay because Disney had made official suits. So you just look at it, use that as reference, and there you go. Now you know what they're supposed to look like. But yeah, no, the clone armor, it's all CGI. So when they're wearing it, it wouldn't fit an actual person. There would be no way. But yeah, no, all the clones are practically just pure CGI.
Yeah. It looked like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like at first I thought it was just because their armor was so shiny, but no, they are all just pure CGI. So yeah, then the whole battle on Geonosis, crazy. All that poor first clone trooper that died. I was like, oh, first casualty. That was insane. Then blowing up everything, and then when we get to the battle with Dooku, what are your thoughts on the battle with Dooku? I don't know why.
That was cool. Again, his lightning powers were really cool to see, and he get his arm cut off. The foreshadowing done by yours truly.
Yes.
We get to see where the Yoda death sound came from.
Yeah, the battle cry.
I had to do like a double take because I didn't know if that was real or not.
Yup. It's so good. I can't believe Lego Star Wars literally said, what if we take this battle cry and use it as a death sound effect? And then history was made. It's so wild. It's so good. Oh man. And then speaking of Yoda, like, what do you think when you saw him like basically take the lightning, turn it into an orb, and then dissipate it?
That was cool. It shows how powerful and wise he is.
Yeah. And then like he moves so slow, but then you see him battle with a lightsaber, and that guy is going.
I know. He's like saving his strength.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, and then good on Count for being able to, obviously counter that. It's a tiny dude with a lightsaber. Bouncing all over the place. But yeah, and then obviously Dooku leaving, and then after trying to like kill them, leaves, and then lets them know the plans. Ooh, that reminds me. You saw the Death Star, right? Remember the little thing? What do you think seeing that when you saw it? You're like,
I was like, oh, there's a thing. It's the thing.
I'll take this to my master. So good. But leave, give the plans, and then obviously Anakin and Padme get married, and that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and then we get the ending. And with it ends with Anakin and Padme getting married, but with Yoda saying Clone Wars, the gun they have, and I was like, yes. And then we got into the show. But oh man, I love Clone Wars. The Clone Wars are crazy. 3 years of just ooh. But yeah, and that's it, and that's how it ends. And then there we go. So we any other likes before we get into the dislikes?
Jar Jar Binks.
Jar
Jar Binks. He is the best character.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
All right, on to the dislikes, which, if you realized it, we didn't talk about any of the Anakin and Padme stuff and the like stuff. And let's go into that now.
Reason, because, it was cringe.
Yeah, it was, the dialogue was just horrendous. Like, I don't know who let George write this dialogue. It feels like something like he wrote it. Just because, oh my god. Like here's a little fun fact. In the original trilogy, George had written some dialogue, and the actors were like, no, this is terrible. Don't do this. Like there's like an interview with Mark Hamill where this is just one line where he just says this completely long run-on sentence that about how the ship trajectory would never be able to help them escape. There was no way that the Empire would fall for that. Like, it's just some long unnecessary run-on sentence, and Mark's just like, he's like, George, who talks like that? Like, it's wild. So I feel like maybe he had a little too much. Like George has a story to tell, and that's fine. Just don't let him write dialogue. I think if he had a little help maybe with writing the dialogue, it would have been maybe a little bit more better. I feel like the dialogue, it was just terrible. But yeah, no, this whole the sequence with Anakin, with the whole getting revenge with on the Sand People, slaughtering the Sand People. Now this is actually where our differences lie. If I hear my buddy here is like, I love the Sand People. Me, I hate the Sand People. They are terrible people. I am pretty much with the folks on Tatooine. No, those Sand People are bad people. All right, they're abducting.
Book of Boba Fett. You know what? Maybe you should sit down and watch 21 Jump Street, and then maybe.
Oh my god.
Maybe you'll have a different opinion.
So, what's his name? Jonah Hill. Is a Tusken Raider?
Is a Tusken Raider.
Wow.
Yes.
Good morning. Ooh. It's so wild. But no, they kidnap people and torture them. Look what they did to Anakin's mother. She did not deserve that. And I mean, I don't know if I would go to Anakin's extent where I'd slaughter the entire tribe, but I definitely take out just the men. And then obviously you're never gonna visit Tatooine after that ever again. So it's not like they can hunt you down, because Tusken Raiders aren't really technologically advanced. They're primitive people, if you will. Good fighters though. But yeah, no, that probably maybe was like the only sequence I kind of sort of enjoyed, was just that. I don't know how you felt about that. Just that whole Sand People arc. That was pretty much it. And then we're back to the love, where they're like, we can't do this. No, it's wrong.
No, we can't do this. Have you ever heard of a dictatorship?
Oh yeah, tells her about what if I just do what everybody, we choose for them, decide for them. And if they don't like it, well, we'll make them like it. Like, dictatorship.
Listen, Fumblebee, honestly, but like not
Fumblebee?
Fumblebee
Wait,
because,
like, he got the girl, he got married!
I know, like how does this man like how?
Fumblebee, but
Fumblebee, but not really. It should have been a Fumblebee, but like
nah, he didn't. It blew their mind, bro. It blew their mind.
it was crazy. I keep making this comparison. It was a Discord mod talking to his Discord kitten.
It's so bad. And they go to save Obi-Wan. And by the way, they leave Jar Jar. Padme says, Jar Jar, you're in charge of what I say. So when you say it, I'm approving it. So whatever you say goes. And that's when we get Jar Jar giving Palpatine permission to have emergency powers and permitting the clones. He basically let the Clone Wars happen and gave Palpatine all the power. That's why I hate Jar Jar. Like, it'd be different, like, oh, he's just comic relief, sure. But the guy's the reason Palpatine has all this power in the Senate. Freaking hate Jar Jar, man.
I love Jar Jar. He's so silly.
He's so dumb. But yeah, Anakin, Discord Kitty, anything else?
There was honestly not a lot that I hated about this movie. That was like the only bit. I liked everything else.
I feel like
obviously I love the droids, seeing like them fight out with the clones, duke it out with the clones near the end. That was really cool to see.
Yeah.
Funny thing, they made like a series about that.
Wow, really?
I don't know, it's weird.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we should watch it sometime and maybe
Yeah,
like do a video on it or something,
Yeah,
kind of like
maybe.
this one, but like for each season that we watch.
That's such a good
I think
idea.
that sounds like a good idea. Maybe
Wow.
maybe you know, if people want to see that, they should subscribe.
Yeah, maybe
so
even
that
leave a
they
like.
can see that when it gets uploaded, because we might actually do that. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. Let's go. But I think you'd probably agree with this though. I think the pacing is fine, but I don't like the cuts between here we are Anakin, then back to Obi, then back to Anakin,
Yeah.
then back to Obi. I hated that. I was looking more forward to like the Obi-Wan stuff than I was the Anakin stuff.
Yeah, I was just like, I like turn my brain off whenever I see the Anakin and Padme scenes show up, and I'm just like, all right, when are we getting back to the cool guy?
Yeah, pretty much. I feel like they should have just focused all on Obi and then go like next to Anakin, or like, because there were like maybe like 4 or 5 cuts it felt, or so like do half of it with Obi-Wan in that whole sequence, and then the other half with Anakin, and then back to the other half. Like, not stop doing like many cuts back and forth.
Yeah.
Then I felt like it would have been better paced. I mean, the Anakin stuff still would have sucked, but like at least it would have been like better handled, I guess. But yeah, so I guess wrapping up, any other final dislikes before we go ahead and wrap up our final thoughts and opinions?
Probably not.
Alrighty then, let's go ahead and have our final thoughts. What are your final thoughts on the movie as a whole?
On the movie as a whole, it's a lot better than episode 1. Besides the Discord kitten bit,
Yeah,
is a lot better than episode 1. I really like this one. This one's my favorite.
that's my favorite. All right,
My
yes
favorite.
sir. Well, as a whole, what are you thinking so far in the series? You enjoying it? You're feeling media on it? How are you feeling as a series as a whole right now?
I am enjoying it. I really like obviously the droids. They're really cool. I like it when we go and see Coruscant, because that's cool. I like seeing the banter between Obi-Wan and Anakin.
It's so good. It's just fun, especially
They're
when you
so
see
good to
them.
like bounce stuff off each other.
It's amazing. But yeah, so I guess with that is basically our thoughts and just on the series. I guess that's as we're gonna go ahead and close this video. If you made it this far, it's probably gonna be a long video. But yeah, so that's gonna be basically it. We started with the prequels, like I said, and so next time when we do this, we're gonna be going into season 1 of the Clone Wars. Well, to also talk about the movie a little bit. There's not too much to go off of that movie, but we'll talk about that a little bit. But yeah, so basically, I hope you guys enjoyed. I think this is a fun way to just talk about Star Wars and get more Star Wars onto the channel, aside from just focusing on like obviously Star Wars month. I think this is a very fun way to add more Star Wars on the stuff, because sometimes I just don't have Star Wars content to really cover. But this is the fun thing to do. I had a lot of fun doing this. It's fun just watching Star Wars and just getting another person's perspective, especially people who like never really seen too much or just don't know that much about it, and they're rewatching it. It's fun. I think it's fun. I think it's a very fun idea. And let me know down in the comments if you guys think it's fun as well. Also, let me know down in the comments your thoughts and opinions on both movies as well. Did you like them? Did you hate them? Did you like one more than the other? What are your thoughts? Let's get a whole conversation about it, because this is fun. I love Star Wars and I love talking. So about Star Wars and stuff. I do like talking in general though. But anyways, guys, at the end of the video, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, how rude of me. To even let people know where they can find you if you got like self-plug.
Oh, well, thank you. Mr. dbzmando. Hello, my name is Thieving Tiefling, twitch.tv/Thieving Tiefling. You can find me at twitch.tv/Thieving Tiefling. And like that's about it. At twitch.tv/Thieving Tiefling.
Alrighty then. Well, yeah, be sure to go check him out. Will have description in there will be links in the description to him, to my stuff, of course, per the usual. Check him out. And if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to blast that like button. As you ever, subscribe if you enjoy the content of my channel, and hey, hit that bell notification too as well, so you get notified when I upload. Thanks everybody, stop by. Greatly appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video. dbzmando signing out.